Hi guys. So in this episode, I'm going to give you the ultimate comparison between the boAt Stone 1500 and the JBL Charge 5. So it's going to be a very fun-filled and entertaining episode. But before we proceed, I have a few requests to you guys. Number one, if you do enjoy this episode, kindly smash that like button and subscribe to Purecast 9 if you haven't already. And after watching this episode, whichever speaker you decide to pick up, whether it's both or either, kindly use the links of these speakers given in the description below to make your purchase. I promise you it's not going to cost you anything extra, but you will be helping me indirectly in running this channel and helping me produce more such high quality and entertaining content just for you guys. So guys, these two speakers have a lot of things in common in terms of specs and features and also some differences. And yes, price is also a huge difference. So I'm not going to get into detail and waste your time. Rather, the chart you're seeing right now on screen basically summarizes what these differences and similarities are. Now just take note that the prices I've mentioned is the lowest price that you can get these speakers for. So for the boAt Stone 1500, I've mentioned the price that you can get it for during the, those festive sales that go on. And for the JBL Charge 5, I've mentioned the lowest price I got it when I recently bought it. So these prices might go up or they again might go further down during sales. All right. So now let me give you my feedback, my review on the main aspect, that is the sound. These are ultimately Bluetooth speakers, so the features and specs come later, but mainly it's the sound that's going to compel you to choose either of these speakers. So if you're an existing viewer, you will know that I don't just say a speaker has good sound or bad sound. I delve deeper and say that any sound that you hear is primarily made up of three frequencies: highs, mids, lows. Highs, where the really sharp sounding instruments are, mids, where the vocals are, and lows are the bass. So starting off with the highs that these two speakers produce, there is a definite difference. And for an average listener, if that person was blindfolded and was given these two speakers to listen to without letting them know which speaker is playing, I think, in my opinion, 9 out of 10 times, they would pick the boAt Stone 1500 because the sharpness, the loudness, and the overall brightness of the high frequencies is so much better, or I would say prevalent, on the boAt Stone 1500 compared to the JBL Charge 5. But if you're a purist, if you really pay attention to how the frequencies are produced and quality is of a concern or a big factor, then the JBL Charge 5 definitely has better quality highs. It's much more pleasant, it's much more balanced, it's not as sharp as the boAt Stone 1500 or not as loud, but it's definitely of a better quality. So this is definitely going to boil down to the personal preference of the individual listener. So for an average listener, like I said, they would pick the boAt Stone 1500 because even if you try, you can't miss the highs. They are really, really sharp. And for someone who's a more serious listener, they would probably pick the JBL Charge 5. They wouldn't want that much sharpness and they would want a much more natural rendition of the high frequencies. So those are the differences in highs. Both are good. The JBL Charge 5 has better quality. The boAt Stone 1500 is much more prevalent and bright. Now it depends on your personal preference. Now let's get into the mid frequencies where the vocals are. Now again, there is quite a bit of difference in the same sense as it was in the high frequency. So the boAt Stone 1500 again produces vocals with a lot of clarity and sharpness and loudness. So the average listener would again definitely pick the boAt Stone 1500. While the JBL Charge 5 produces much more natural sounding vocals. And I'd mentioned this in my review of the JBL Charge 5 as well, that one of the highlights of this speaker is its rendition of the vocals. So the vocals, the mid frequencies are produced much more naturally with the natural warmth of the vocals, no added layer of sharpness. Now it just sounds very pleasant. So again, this is going to boil down to the preference from one individual to another. So if someone prefers clarity with a lot of loudness and of course good quality, they would pick the boAt Stone 1500. But for someone who is again a purist who wants the most natural rendition of the vocals and the natural warmth without any sort of extra sharpness, they would definitely pick the JBL Charge 5. Now let's talk about the low frequency or the bass. Now here there was quite a bit of difference. Now it could be because the bass radiators do have a huge difference in size. The boAt Stone 1500 has a far larger bass radiator. So what I found when listening to a lot of music and songs is that the boAt Stone 1500 has that extra bit of thump. It's got that extra bit of punch to the bass that makes the music and the song you're listening to all the more enjoyable. And you feel that this really produces the bass. It's really going to be kind of like a bass head's dream. So if you love bass and you want that punch and that thump, the boAt Stone 1500 is going to give you that. Now, the JBL Charge 5 is no slouch by any means, and I'd mentioned that in my review of this as well, that the bass response of the JBL Charge 5 is much more balanced. Definitely it has the thump, it's got the punch to it, but the bass is much more natural. The rendition of the bass is much more natural. It's of a very high quality, it's got the thump factor, but it's not quite as loud as the boAt Stone 1500. But the quality is definitely top notch. The quality of the bass could be at times tad bit better than the boAt Stone 1500. So, again, for an average listener, most of the time they would by all means go for the boAt Stone 1500 because it's got the overall clarity, and surprisingly, it is the louder of the two, and it just gives you all the frequencies in your face. So highs, mids, lows, everything. JBL Charge 5 has got a much more balanced output with really good quality. So these are the differences in the frequencies, and a big difference, I would say, sort of, in the bass response. Now, in some songs, they again sounded a bit of, almost identical, but there were times in certain tracks where the boAt Stone 1500, in terms of the bass, was just one step ahead. So guys, that was the roundup. These were the differences in the sound of these two speakers. Now, mind you, these were my opinion. Yours might differ by all means, and that's okay. So I'm just going to put it out there that for any average listener who wants clarity in all frequencies and wants the most punchy bass and is on a tight budget, they should definitely go for the boAt Stone 1500. But if you're a purist and you want the most accurate, high quality rendition across the board in all frequencies, highs, mids and lows, then by all means, if you can extend your budget by quite a lot, then you should go for the JBL Charge 5. Either way, none of these speakers are going to disappoint you. So you have to choose the one that's the best for you based on your needs. My only request, like I said, was that whichever speaker you choose, you can't go wrong. But kindly use the link given of these speakers in the description below to make your purchase so that you can help me run this channel. And if you've enjoyed this video, kindly smash that like button, subscribe to Purecast 9. And for now, I'm going to leave you with the sound test. You guys listen, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And I'm going to catch you guys very soon in the next one. Cheers.
suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.